So, hi all. Good morning. So, am I audible? Can anyone confirm me, please?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, let me share my screen. So, basically, so we have something called like DevOps program here. Yes, under SSIT training. So, the DevOps training program contains different tools basically. So, where the majority of the tools are like we will be dealing with majority of the tools like let's say right now like there is a boom for Terraform. So that we will be considering the things like and then let's say there is a boom for Jenkins. So those things will be explained here properly from end to end basically. So you might have received detailed syllabus for this program. So let me start with myself. Like myself, I'm Ishwar. So I have 5+ years of experience only in DevOps. So DevOps with AWS. So I have like I've been working with the different clouds basically. So I worked in AWS basically. So as a cloud, and then uh, there are I'm working right now with Azure also. So with Google Cloud. So I'm working with multiple clouds basically. So where I have exposure towards uh, different DevOps tools as well as different clouds basically. So in this program, so what we are going to learn is, so we are going to learn each and everything. Let's say like as a DevOps engineer, so we need the basic Linux skills basically, right? So those things also will be covered here, since DevOps engineers will be responsible for making some changes at Linux as a Linux administration. Like sometimes DevOps engineer uh, will have to work as a Linux administrator also. So my colleague is there, my ex-colleague. So we were working as a DevOps engineer. So now he has joined other company. So where is added one responsibility as a Linux administrator. So if he has this if you have these Linux skills, right, then only that will be easy for you to handle your uh, daily day-to-day activities basically. Okay, so as part of this program, so I'm audible, right? So can anyone confirm, please?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
yes.
hear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We can hear.
Yeah, thank you. So as part of our program, so we will be covering multiple things. So why I'm saying multiple things? As a DevOps engineer, we should know like Linux things. Linux, it's not like basic. So we will be going in depth basically. So we will be going with in-depth knowledge, in-depth subject things. So we will not cover only basics basically. So here we will be explaining like even if something like let's say if you get some uh, role as a Linux administrator. So if you go through this like if you attend these things, right? So this program, so this will be easy, very easy. So once you understand this once you understand these things, And then we'll be covering. So there are multiple things. So let's say, so there is a dev as well as ops. So it is not a single word, guys. It is not single team basically. So DevOps is something where we will be having multiple teams here. So that I'll discuss later. So here I'll discuss. So before that, so what and all we are going to cover? Those things will explain here, and then we'll go with build tools basically. So what is build tools? So we have multiple build tools: Maven, Gradle, and okay. So apart from these things, apart from these tools, we'll pick maximum like I've been using Maven from many years basically. So one of the tool will be explained here. So another tool, like if you have some time, or else if you are interested to uh, learn other tools also, that is also fine. So we will be providing the document, so how to install it, how to use it, and all those things. Okay, so these things will be covered here. And then there is something called application server tools. So this is like we have Tomcat, and we have WebLogic. So we have different tools basically. Okay, and then there is something called source code management tools. So that will be SonarQube. That could be Contrast, whatever. Okay, so and then we will be covering the CI/CD part, which is like Jenkins, and then we'll cover Docker, and then we'll cover Kubernetes, and then here before Jenkins, we will be covering something called the tool called Nexus or JFrog. So there are two tools which is leading right now. So these two tools, either one of the tools will be discussed. Okay, and then we will be covering AWS in depth. Like we have multiple modules basically. So we have different modules. Like we have EC2 module, we have S3 module. So the AWS is not a, it is not limited only to the DevOps. It is like AWS is having multiple teams basically. So we will be covering as part of DevOps, like as per perspective, DevOps perspective. So based on our usage, like so those things will be discussed in as part of AWS things. Okay, so after then, so remember, so right now whatever I have told all these things, right? So you don't need to worry about all these things. Like, so once you are familiar with my, like, let's say let's say you are attending daily, so and you are going through the recordings multiple times. So if you practice well, so that these tools are very easy. So you are not a, like I'm not the first like I'm dealing with multiple batches basically. So if you have practiced, if you are attending classes regularly, first thing, and then if you are practicing the things once the session is completed, or else once you get the recording, so that is enough to get your job easily. That's what we can say. Okay, so once it is done, so we will be having discussion about Terraform. So these things will be discussed here. Okay, so any doubts so far? No, any doubts here? Okay. So basically, before going into the tools and all those things, so what is DevOps basically? So DevOps is a set of practices, set of tools, and it is a cultural philosophy. Like, let's say we wanted to follow this process, so all the applications should follow this application, since it is said by DevOps teams. So where we should integrate the process between these software development and IT teams. Remember, guys, so there is dev team and there is ops team. So what is dev team basically? So dev team is something where they write the code as per their requirement. Okay. So what is ops? Ops is something IT teams. So who comes under IT teams? IT teams could be networking team, could be storage team, could be any team. Okay. So here DevOps engineer will be responsible to make a process between this development team and as well as uh, IT teams basically. And then, so this here we can see. So it is a combination of software development, dev, and operations. So it is defined as a software engineering methodology which aims to integrate the work of development teams and operations teams by facilitating a culture of collaboration and shared responsibility. Okay, so that I've already discussed. So here, as part of this program, so we'll be covering Linux basics and like what is DevOps history, what is Agile, so what is waterfall model, all those things will be discussed here. And then we will be discussing something called version control systems. So it is like Git. And then we will be discussing about build tools, which is like Maven, and we'll be discussing about application server, remote artifactory server, CI/CD, configuration management tools, and all those things will be discussed here. Okay, so we are not going to teach you like as light, but we'll be discussing each and every topic in depth basically. So if you take one subject like Git, so we'll be discussing like how to install it, so where we need to go, like how we need to use it, so what is Git, and who is the vendor for the Git, so how to use Git everywhere, so what will be the use for this, and then there will be multiple commands. Okay, so all these things like from end to end, this will be discussed here if you take one subject, one topic. Okay, so apart from this, so we'll be providing the tools installation guides as well as interview questions. So what is tools installation? Let's say I have installed Jenkins server. So since it is like I've been using these Jenkins from last 5 years, so I know where to go. I know where to go and how to see like okay, like let's say I wanted to install Jenkins. Okay, so let me go here. So I wanted to install Jenkins. So in that case, what I'll do? So I'll go like Jenkins installation. So here I'll go here. So again, like I'll have to see like which environment, like either Linux, Windows, and all those things. So it would be Red Hat, Ubuntu. So there are multiple flavors. Once you understand this Linux things, you'll be seeing like what is Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, and all those things. Okay, so I'll have to click on here. After then, I'll have to follow all the steps to install one application. So instead of that, since it is difficult for us to go to Google for every time, so instead of that, I have created one blog basically. So I'll be sharing this blog with you, and then so once you like, let's say we are discussing Maven. So if you if you search with Maven, right? So you will be getting all these things like, okay, how to install it. So like if it is Red Hat server, so what will be the uh, prerequisites? So for example, if you wanted to install Java, so what you need to do, you need to go to official websites and there you need to register and all those things will be there. So instead of that, so I have customized by using this blog, basically by writing this blog. So will be like not only to DevOps related to all tools will be covered here. So if you go to Docker, so let's say if I wanted to initialize Docker swarm, so all these things here will be discussed here. So let's say if you wanted to go to AKS, so Azure Kubernetes Service. So let's say you wanted to go for Jenkins. So here you'll be able to see. So Jenkins installation process. So whatever is there here. So since it is Jenkins, this is straightforward. So where we need to copy each and every one line, 2 lines, and all those things. So here if you go here, so you'll be able to see like what we need to install it. So for Java 11, you need to go to another tab and you need to go to installation things, all those things. Before that, like I have set up this blog basically. So where you don't feel like, okay, to install this, I need to go to multiple sites and I need to go to multiple things to install one server, right? So this we have customized it here. Yes. So once you follow these things, so you don't need to worry about okay, let's say if you wanted to install this Nexus, so all those things, every tool I have covered here, maximum, like which we are going to discuss. So let's say you wanted to go to Nexus. So there is a process basically to install one tool. So instead of going each and every site to like official sites, so I have added all these things here. Okay, so what you need to do is, so we need to just copy it. So we need to copy it and then we need to paste it in the servers. Okay, so these things will be provided here. And then, so the other thing is, so interview questions will be shared once the topic is done. So why before the topic? Why not before the topic started? The problem here is, so let's say I have started Git, as I have started Linux. So problem here is, so there are 10 questions. Let's say related to Linux, there are 10 questions. If I am explaining the new topic, which is which is in Boom, or else which is asked in the previous interviews, so that you'll not be able to focus there. So because of that, so I'll be sharing these interview questions each and every topic for each and every topic once the topic is done. So that remember guys, like I like even like last 10 days back I have attended one interview just to know the situations, like just to know the pattern of the interviews. So by keeping those things in my mind, so I've been adding these interview questions basically. So it is not like, okay, I've created once and it is done. It's not like that. So that will be continuously adding, like based on the pattern, like based on the questions which they have asked. So I used to regularly attend interviews by keeping some fake profile basically. So I used to get all the interview, like I used to schedule the interviews. So I used to schedule, like I used to attend interviews to just to know the pattern of their questions and just to know the like what and all they're expecting as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so these things will be provided here, and then there are myths, right? So about DevOps, so there are myths. So there are some misconceptions, like so DevOps is only for software engineers. So that is main thing. So like who has done degree like a BTech or in computer science, only for who has done for IT back, who is having some IT. No, it's not. It's not that basically. So I'm from basically mechanical. So I've done my engineering in mechanical. So my colleague is there is from civil. So it is not related to any of your background thing. So DevOps does not need any your background, educational background basically. So if you have zeal to learn, so DevOps is not related to the your academic things. Okay, so there is one more misconception that that DevOps is all about tools. It's not about tools basically, right? So it's not about only tools. It's about process. It's about projects. It's about projects. Okay, so here there is one more thing. DevOps and continuous delivery are same thing. So since it is new first thing for first class, so demo, so you'll not understand like what is continuous delivery. So it is not the same thing. And one more thing, you need to you need to understand. So let's say I have learned something from here. So let's say I have used Jenkins. I have done some 4 to 5 projects, which is so I have taken from my previous organization basically. So those things. So if I use these things like right. So let's say we have practiced by using these projects. So the project cannot be same as my current project. So once you get the job, so you'll be getting some project, right? That project will not be same as this project. There will be similarities that okay, I was using that tool and now I'm using this tool. So I was using that process and I'm using this process. The similarity will be there, but the process will be different. Okay, so those things, that is also one basic like major myth about these things. Okay, so one more thing. So I can well, let's say there are many people like where I can create a DevOps team. So once create the team, so I am done implementing DevOps. It's not like that. Building team is different, and developing working with different applications will be a different thing. Okay, so there is one more myth. DevOps is to be used for only startups. It's not like that. So many of the MNCs also right now they're using DevOps. Okay, so there is this one is very main thing, like DevOps needs programming language. No, you don't need any programming language. So if you have knowledge about any programming language, let's say that could be Java, that could be Python, whatever it is. So that is enough. So that is enough. Even if you don't know about Java and Python, that is also enough. Since I am also like so I even have like I've been working as like from past 5 years. So I don't know about much about Java. I don't know like in depth about this Python and all. So we don't need to learn thoroughly the programming language, right? So we just need to understand, like if you have basic things, if you have basic understanding, okay. So if developers write this code, so this is what the execution. So if you have that level of uh, idea, that is fine. If you like, let's say even if you don't have this idea that even about programming language, that is also is absolutely fine. So you don't need to worry about like, okay, I need to learn a language before going to DevOps. No, it's not like that. It's not like where like let's say before coming to this demo, so you might have watched multiple things in multiple videos in YouTube, right? So what is prerequisite for DevOps, so DevOps things and all those things. There will be in that video they must show like, okay, they'll be showing like, okay, you need to have some language uh, language like either it could be Python or Java, which is not like that. So if you have basic things about programming language, that is fine, absolutely fine. Even if you don't have the basic understanding about programming language, that is also is fine. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm done with my things. So do you have any question, please? Any questions? Any questions?
Hi, sir. I am Pranay.
Yeah, Pranay.
I mean, like, which cloud is better, sir, nowadays? Like AWS or Google Cloud
Yeah, yeah,
or
that
Azure?
is the main thing. So basically, Pranay, so right now companies are like, many of the companies are using multi-cloud things. So what is again multi-cloud? So we have public, private, hybrid, and multi-cloud. So what is hybrid means? Hybrid means like private and public. Public means like it is like Google Cloud, or private means again in the cloud there will be some sort of restrictions where you only need to use these services. Okay. So what is multi-cloud? So multi-cloud is something. So let's say I wanted to have database for 10 years. So I wanted to have this size of a database for 10 years. So what I'll do as a company, let's say I'm an architect. So what I'll do, I'll approach AWS with my requirement, and as well as I'll approach with Azure, and I'll approach with Google Cloud, right?
Okay.
So whoever codes less, so those things like that cloud I'll take. So if I get the uh, best price, best rate for from Google, so that I'll take. It's not about the one cloud basically. The thing here is, so if you learn one concept, so if you learn AWS, that is as similar as Azure also, as similar as the Google Cloud also.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not about cloud. So remember, so this is not about one cloud. So let's say here you'll be learning about AWS. So once you get the job, right, so you'll not work only as an AWS. So you'll be working with Azure, you'll be working with Google Cloud, you'll be working as VMware Cloud, so all those things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
And one more thing, sir. Like, most of the companies use which cloud, sir? And in the same way, if we see in the job market, most of the openings will be on which one?
It's Azure and AWS.
Okay, sir.
So it's Azure and AWS. Since Azure, why Azure uh, is one step uh, one step is one step is a, so the thing with the Microsoft is like Microsoft offers multiple things. Like let's say I have a Teams business account, I have Outlook business account, so I'll be getting some discount if I use a cloud service. There's cloud services.
Okay.
Okay, so AWS does not have all these Teams related things, all these things, right? That's the reason. So where they'll be getting some slight difference. That's it. So it's like AWS and Azure is same basically right now. Like AWS is having like let's say AWS is having 51%, like Azure is having some 49%. Like that's it. Like
Okay, sir.
okay, yeah. So
Hi,
I'll be
sir.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Can I ask a question?
yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I know. I think it's a dumb question, but I just want to know this.
No.
Like, as you said that, so we are gonna learn DevOps to integrate like a process between development and the operational.
Yeah.
So we're gonna integrate these two fields. So in
Yes.
that case, like we are gonna learn all these concepts. Are we gonna use all these concepts, or it depends on the project? We use only certain tools.
Depends on the project. So it is like depends on the project. So uh let's say like I am using Jenkins, so you might like the project might be used different tool.
Got it. So
Or else
what is the majorly used tool right now in the present?
so that is again the difference, right? Let's say it's about let's say like this is each and every tool, like this is each and every segment basically. So if I use Git here, so if you use version control systems, let me put here, right? So let me tell you in this way. So there is something called version control system. So version control systems is something where you need to where you can store your code in their repository. So like who is providing basically? So it is provided one tool is their Git, one tool is their Bitbucket. One tool is their SVN. So VCS, TFC. So all these things. Okay. So if you learn one tool, if you learn Git, so the same commands will be executed with Bitbucket also. Okay, so you don't need to worry about, let's say like I have learned Git, so I wanted to I need to work with the Bitbucket. So Bitbucket does the same thing as well as Git also does the same thing. So there is no major difference. So why we use these two? So to store our code in secured area, secured place, so we'll be using all these tools, right? So that could be Bitbucket, that could be Git. So if you get experience in one tool, the same thing will be there in other tool also. So what is the difference between here? So Git is maintained by, let's say Git is maintained by Microsoft. Okay. So Bitbucket is maintained by some Atlassian vendor. So that is the major difference. And here this UI will be different and this UI will be different. The user interface will be different for each and every tool. So as part of, that's what I'm saying, like as part of this program, so we will be discussing most of the use tools. It's not like, okay, let's say I'm using Git, so I'll teach only Git. So I'm working with multiple things here, multiple things. I have experience in Bitbucket as well as like Bitbucket as well as in Git also. So you don't need to worry about it. So that comes each and every tool. Like for example, if you take build tools. Okay, so I'm using Maven from past 5 years basically. So there is one more application. So where I am handling, where I'm dealing with another application, where they are using Gradle. So I don't have any difference. Like I don't need to worry about this. Either it could be Maven or it could be Gradle. So what is the jobs of build tools? So you just need to build job. That's it. This Maven or Gradle needs to build the job. That's it. The functionality is the same. The UI and the the vendor will be different. That's it. The same things. Okay. Yeah. So if you have experience in one tool, right? So that is enough. That is more than enough. Like you can say, okay, I've been working in previous like Maven. So right now I'm using Gradle. So that will take a 1 week time to understand. That's it. So if you are interested to learn multiple, that is also fine for me. Like even I can expose. I'll have different things. Let's say like I'm explaining about Maven. So if you are interested with Gradle, also that is also fine. Like I'll give you a document for Gradle. So how to do it, what is Gradle, and all those things. So that will be useful for you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. So any doubts? So the recorded sessions will be shared by the IT team. So every day. So and to enroll this program, so you don't need to have previous experience like uh, as a DevOps, as a developer, or as a another thing. Like even it could be different stream also. That is also fine to become DevOps. Why I'm saying like in like this thing. So since I have completed my graduation in mechanical. So I'm working as a DevOps engineer right now. So okay. Any doubts here? Okay. So discuss with the IT teams, and once you are okay, so then we'll start. We'll update you the when we are going to start these classes. So discuss with your with the IT team basically. So once they'll update one date. So from then we're going to start the batches. This batch. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.